Florian's criticism of 90 Day. The Last Resort's Reba Thomas was surprisingly on point. It's not often that 90 Day Fiance alum Florian Sukaj makes headlines for sharp insight, but his critique of 90 Day, The Last Resort therapist Reba Corrine Thomas struck a chord. As the husband of Stacy Silva, one half of the Silva twins who became franchise icons, Florian has been a familiar face in the extended 90 Day universe. While his demeanor can be fiery, his reaction during the Season 2 tell-all raised legitimate concerns about the guidance Reba gave to Gino Palazzolo and Jasmine Pineda. Florian and Stacy were one of 6 couples participating in Season 2 of The Last Resort, a therapy-centered spin-off that aimed to help couples at breaking points in their relationships. Alongside individual and group therapy sessions led by Reba, Dr. Janie Lacey, and James Keller, the couples also spent time socializing at the resort. Unsurprisingly, tensions flared, particularly between Florian and fellow cast member Jasmine Pineda. Reba introduced a complex topic at the wrong time. When Jasmine and Gino joined The Last Resort, they were already in a fragile place. Their relationship, which began long distance, had been defined by emotional ups and downs. Gino had supported Jasmine financially and hoped to start a family, but Jasmine had different priorities. By the time they reached the resort, they had not been physically intimate in several months and continued to clash over communication, expectations, and future plans. One of the more surprising moments came during Jasmine's private sessions with Reba. In discussing Jasmine's disconnect from Gino, Reba introduced the topic of open relationships, sharing that she herself was in one. This sparked Jasmine's interest, as she had already formed a connection with a man named Matt Brannis, whom she'd met at her gym. What stood out to viewers like me was that the suggestion didn't seem to come with much explanation or consideration of the couple's current state. Open relationships, like any major shift in relationship dynamics, require extensive communication, mutual trust, and shared goals. Jasmine and Gino had yet to demonstrate those foundational elements. Ultimately, Jasmine gave Gino an ultimatum: either accept her desire to explore an open relationship or end things. Gino, perhaps caught off guard or hoping to salvage what remained of their relationship, agreed. But the outcome wasn't positive. At the tell-all, Jasmine arrived pregnant with Matt's child while still married to Gino. The tell-all highlighted the divide. During the tell-all special, the therapists were invited to comment on the outcomes of the couple's journeys. When asked whether she was surprised by Jasmine and Gino's situation, Reba responded that she wasn't. This surprised many, given how significantly things had unraveled. Gino voiced concerns that he hadn't fully understood what an open relationship would involve, and Florian supported him. He criticized Reba for introducing such a major concept without ensuring that both parties were equipped to handle it. Reba, in response, maintained that she simply provided the space for exploration and that responsibility for choices ultimately lay with the individuals. Jasmine stood by Reba, saying she felt well-informed and empowered to make her decision. However, Gino and others clearly felt blindsided by how things had escalated. What seemed lacking was a thorough discussion of the potential consequences of this relationship model for a couple already facing deep-seated communication and trust issues. Florian's reaction: strong, but not unwarranted. Florian, who often comes across as blunt and intense, spoke with unexpected clarity when he told Reba that her suggestion had negatively impacted Gino and Jasmine's relationship. He didn't mince words and felt Reba needed to acknowledge her role in what happened. Reba, on the other hand, stood her ground, suggesting it was unfair to place blame solely on her. While it's true that individuals are responsible for their decisions, the role of a therapist or counselor is to help guide people toward thoughtful, informed choices. In this case, the guidance seemed misaligned with the couple's readiness. Even though Florian's delivery was forceful, his point was rooted in concern. Advice given during therapy can shake people's lives. With that responsibility comes a need for careful judgment. Reba's reluctance to acknowledge that her suggestion might not have been suitable for Gino and Jasmine's situation came across as dismissive to some viewers. A learning moment for future seasons. Reba's intentions may have been to help Jasmine explore her needs and desires in a safe environment. However, when working with couples on fragile ground, it's crucial to consider timing, communication styles, and emotional readiness before introducing major shifts in relationship models.